So it's been a couple of weeks since we did the last one of these, but we are back with the Championship Transfer Rumour Roundup. Let's jump into it. Guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Now we have loads to discuss in today's video. Loads of completed deals which have gone through over the past week or two. And of course an abundance of Championship transfer rumours. We're not all too far away now from deadline day. So I want to hear from you guys, what are the deals that you want to see your club get over the line come the end of the window. As always, if you do want to enjoy, make sure to leave a like. If we get it 400 likes on today's video, that would be massively appreciated. But without any further ado, let's start out by talking about some completed deals. So we'll quickly rumble through these. Tumdeli Bashiru completed a loan deal to Reading for the season. He's coming over from Watford. Chelsea defender Jake Clark-Salter has completed a loan deal to Coventry. We've seen him have a couple loan spells already at this level. We've of course saw Ben Davies complete his loan move to Sheffield United. He's coming from Liverpool for the season. Good deal there for Sheffield United. I think he'll do well for them despite the current predicament that they find themselves in. Liverpool's Leighton Clarkson has completed a loan deal to Blackburn Rovers for the season. He looked quite good at the weekend, to be honest. He was involved in that goal that they scored against West Brom, and obviously their track record with Liverpool youngsters was pretty good so far. Orjan Nyland has signed for Bournemouth. Obviously the former Aston Villa goalkeeper, he comes in on a free transfer to add some more depth into that position. Hull City completed the signing of Tom Huddleston. He'd been training with them for quite some time, and I think he's continuing now to build up his fitness. We saw Derby get another deal over the line in the form of Sam Baldock. He comes in on a free transfer and actually scored on his Derby debut. We saw Ethan Laird complete a loan move from Manchester United to Swansea City for the season. Bournemouth completed the signing of Morgan Rogers, who comes on loan from Manchester City for the season. Really excited to see how this one turns out. Obviously Scott Parker's already done quite a bit of good work actually with some of the youngsters that Bournemouth already have there. Junior Hoylett has completed the move to Reading. There was a little bit of Championship interest in the former Cardiff winger who arrives at Reading on a free transfer. Middlesbrough was another potential destination which was talked about, but he has since ended up at Reading. Gary Cahill has signed for Bournemouth on a free transfer. Honestly, I don't mind this deal. Like we sort of mentioned in their 2-2 draw with Blackpool, maybe a bit of naivety and inexperience played in that second half, and someone like Gary Cahill coming in, you'd think would show them up at the back. He's not going to come in and play sort of every game of the season, is he? But he is an experienced head in that dressing room, and I don't mind that one with the sort of young players that they'll have around it. Rodrigo Muniz has completed the move to Fulham. This was one of the more long-standing transfer sagas that we've had going on in the Championship over the past few weeks and months. It was Fulham and Middlesbrough who seem to be in a head-to-head battle to go and get the Brazilian starlet, but in the end Fulham have managed to get this deal over the line and are looking pretty stacked now, to be honest. Aaron Ramsdale has completed the move to Arsenal. He leaves Sheffield United for a fee of around about £24 million, so that may start off the chain for Sheffield United to look to reinvest a little bit of that money and get a little bit more busy in this transfer window. Obviously they were a little bit slower off the mark compared to some of the other Championship sides this season. We also saw Huddersfield's Janino Bacuna complete a move to Rangers. Romain Soyuz has completed a loan move to Stoke City. He goes from West Brom for the season, and honestly, I don't mind this deal if used in the right way. Soyuz is a very good player in the Championship, obviously. Sometimes his role at West Brom wasn't exactly ideal, you know, he was playing pretty deep where he had to do some of the defensive duties which clearly aren't his strong suit. But if you play him a little bit further forward, give him that licence to get him on the ball, you know, him and Varancic next to each other with what O'Neill seems to be angling for at Stoke in terms of style of play this season, I think that's a decent deal for this season. James Garner has completed their loan move to Nottingham Forest for the season. There was a lot of Championship interest in Garner after how well he did for Forest in the second half of last season, so this is quite the coup that Forest have got over the line here. However, something needs to change. Will Garner be the missing piece of the puzzle to turn around this awful start to the season? I'm not sure, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. Bristol City midfielder Adam Nagy has completed a move to Serie B side Pisa. It's a shame that things never really worked out for him at Bristol City. I remember how excited you know, people were when he first arrived. He seemed to have something about him. It's just that he never quite seemed to settle into life in the Championship, did he? You know, injuries at times certainly didn't help him, but I can't help but feel like this one was a bit of a case of like wasted potential. Leeds United winger Ian Poveda has completed the move to Blackburn Rovers on loan for the season. Blackburn playing the loan market very well once again here. Poveda will obviously fit right into that forward three that Blackburn like to play with. You know, you think that him and maybe Dolan would be quite sort of interchangeable there. Good bit of business there from Blackburn, like the look of that deal. But guys, there we have it. There are some of the completed deals which have gone through in the last week or two. What do you make of all the recently done deals in the Championship? Let me know down below. But without any further ado, let's jump into some transfer rumours. And so let's start out with the biggest rumour that's potentially going around the Championship at the moment, and that's that Cardiff striker Kieffer is being linked with the move to the Premier League, and most specifically to Wolves, who are said to be lining up a £7 million bid for the Cardiff striker. Now, quite a bit to talk over with this one. I'd be a little bit gutted if he was to go, to be honest with you, because apart from Preston players, Kieffer Moore's probably like one of my favourites in the Championship to watch. He was absolutely brilliant last season for Cardiff, and 20 goal a season strikers at this level don't come around all too often. Kieffer Moore has a lot of natural attributes which make him really quite a handful. He was the most successful player for winning aerial duels in the Championship last season. He obviously got to that 20 goal mark. He's good with his feet, and he's also got a fair bit of pace about him. Like, for a big guy, he's not slow, he's pretty fast off the mark, to be honest with you. And that sort of player with all those attributes rolled into one is pretty rare, to be honest with you. You know, normally they fall down in sort of one area or another, whereas Kieffer Moore is pretty much a master of all of them. Now, he is 29, which is worth considering here. And obviously, Cardiff have brought in a striker in this window so far. You know, they brought in James Collins. We all thought that the original plan would be that Collins would sort of come in as that sort of number 2 act to sort of come in for Kieffer Moore when he's needed. But if they were to sell him, will Cardiff think they've already got the natural replacement in the squad in James Collins? Potentially. Now, the price tag is also another interesting thing. You know, £7 million is what's being talked about at the moment from Wolves' end. I'd be very interested to know what sort of figure Cardiff would be demanding for the striker coming the end of this window. But according to Footy Insider, Cardiff would be open to a deal this transfer window. So, Cardiff fans, I want to get all your thoughts on it down below. I mean, if things carry on as they currently do, Aidan Flint's probably going to end up being a 20 goal a season man this season, but Kieffer Moore would be a massive loss to this Cardiff side. And I think he'd be a handful for defenders in the Premier League, to be honest with you. Obviously, he come in as that sort of second sort of act to Jimenez, who's just got himself back from that injury. I like Kieffer Moore a lot. I've spoken about him very highly on the channel for quite a few number of years now. I'm gutted that North End never signed him when we got the chance to, but yeah, it's one that's definitely got legs to it, this one, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes over the next few days. Now, Bristol City are said to be open for offers for striker Nahki Wells should they be able to bring in a replacement before he leaves. So naturally, after this came out, the link started appearing to QPR. Obviously, in his recent career, he probably had the best spell over the last few years while he was actually out on loan at QPR. After making the permanent switch from Burnley to Bristol City, he has stalled somewhat. I don't think the move has completely worked out like a lot of Bristol City fans would have been hoping. He scored 10 goals last season, which isn't awful, but he's not quite consistently hit the heights that I know a lot of people were hoping he would. One player that Bristol City could be looking to bring in terms of another striker is Accrington forward Dion Charles. Had a great time in League One with them last season, and they were linked to him earlier on in the window, so this rumour seems to have resurfaced. However, Accrington chairman Andy Holt did say on Twitter that this rumour was news to him, so nothing quite concrete has obviously come of it yet in terms of Bristol City putting in a bid or anything like that. One to keep your eye on though, he scored 20 goals in all competitions last season. Next then to my club Preston North End, where Connor Wickham is currently on trial with us, and we are said to be weighing up whether or not to give him a deal for the season. Obviously, I've been quite vocal in Preston's need for a striker. Would I like to see us going for this deal? I'm not so sure. The club has been criticised recently for its recruitment policy over the last few years, and this is sort of in line with what we've been doing wrong recently, to be honest with you. Wickham's obviously an incredibly injury prone player who's now at 28 years old, who I mean, should he come in and he scores a few goals for us, there's no real resale value there, and that's a real problem that we got with this squad at the moment, that there's no sort of real saleable assets. Over the last 4 or 5 seasons, he's barely kicked a ball, to be honest with you. Obviously, that other season he had a short loan spell with Sheffield Wednesday, where he scored 2 goals in 13 appearances. It's not ideal, and I'd still like to see us be a little bit more ambitious with the business that we're doing. You know, this does stink of another sort of like Izzy Brown sort of gamble. Obviously, Izzy Brown came in with a long injury history. He's now out for the season. This one has those sort of similar vibes about it. Obviously, I'd rather take Wickham than get no one through the door, but once again, I can't help but feel like this is another example of Preston falling into this recent trap of poor recruitment that in years to come is probably going to come back to bite us again. North End have also been linked to St Johnstone midfielder Ali McCann. Now, I wouldn't actually mind another midfielder coming into this team at the moment, especially someone who's capable of doing the work off the ball. So far this season in the Scottish Premiership, he's averaged, I think, 5 tackles per 90, which is absolutely crazy numbers there, but he's a youngster who would cost a pretty penny, with the asking price at the moment being around about that 3 million mark, which I can't see us, you know, getting anywhere close to at this point in time. It would also require people to go out as well. You know, our squad is already over that 25 limit cap, so we're going to have to do some work this week with actually trying to shift some dead wood out the door, because we've not really done too much of a good job of that so far this transfer window. So in an ideal world, yeah, I'd love this deal, but do I see it feasibly happening? Probably not. And Portsmouth winger Ronan Curtis has also been linked with a move to North End. He had 17 goal contributions for Portsmouth last season in League One. At the moment, it would probably take a fee of, once again, probably around that 2 to 3 million mark to get him. Blackburn and Cardiff have also been mentioned in this transfer window as well, so yeah, we'll wait and see on that one if anything develops over the next few days. And the Liam Delap rumours can pretty much be put to bed for now, as Pep Guardiola has said that the youngster will be training with Man City for the whole of this season. Obviously, there were quite a few rumours that were linking him to the Championship. You know, my side, North End, Stoke were heavily linked with the move for him, a couple of the relegated clubs as well, but it does look as if that he will be sticking around at Manchester City for the season. Middlesbrough would still like to strengthen their attacking options going into the final few days of the transfer window. They've had a bid rejected for winger Jean-Luc Dompe for around about £2 million. At the moment, it's been reported that it would take around £5 million to get this deal over the line. And another player that Borough are in for and close to reportedly tying up is winger Mitchell van Bergen. He's coming over from the Eredivisie with reportedly personal terms, the only thing yet to be agreed on this deal. Middlesbrough are also said to be very keen on Swansea fullback Jake Bidwell. Quite a bit has been made of this rumour so far, although nothing quite concrete has gone through yet. And Middlesbrough are also expected to complete a deal for Sporting striker Andras Barra. The striker has a fairly decent goal scoring record throughout his career. In 309 appearances, he scored 138 goals. It's also expected that Chuba Akpom will be leaving Borough this window, with Neil Walton confirming that the striker won't be in his plans for this season. Newcastle are reportedly making Matty Longstaff available for a loan deal this season, and there has already been several Championship clubs who have been interested in the midfielder. Since the Vieira deal has fallen through, Sheffield United have been one club who's been spoken about in this deal, Blackburn Rovers, who also tend to play the loan market quite well, and then Huddersfield and Blackpool have also been mentioned in this deal. Now, Matt Grimes' future is still very much up in the air. We've spoken about some links that he's had to other Premier League clubs in previous videos, but should he depart, then Swansea may look to Brighton's Jason Malumbi as a potential replacement. Now, I'd love to sit here as a North End fan and completely fill you in on what I make of Malumbi from his time at Preston, but honestly, he was never really given much of a chance to show what he could do. His best time in the Championship so far has undoubtedly come from his time at Millwall, and by all accounts was a very highly rated player there. It's just for whatever reason he never really got his chance to play at Preston last season. But guys, there we have it. That will wrap it up for today's video. As always, any other rumours that you've seen, make sure to get them in the comments down below. If you're happy to see these transfer rumour roundup videos back, make sure to leave a like on today's video. Obviously, once the transfer window has fully closed, we'll have a full comprehensive review of all the deals that have gone through. But apart from that, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you did go to enjoy, make sure to leave a like and do stick around and subscribe for some regular Championship content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.